encapsulation?
Sir, encapsulation is nothing but hiding, wrapping the data member and function member into a single unit is known as encapsulation, sir. Encapsulation can be achieved by declaring the data member as private. The second thing we can also achieve with the help of setter method and the getter method. Setter method is nothing but it is used to set the value. It will not have any return type except void. Getter method is nothing but it is used to fetch the value and it will have a return type except void, sir.
Right. So you mentioned return type. So correct. In
Yes, sir.
encapsulation point of view, you are correct. So wrapping, as the name suggests, right? Capsule in capsule. So like
Yes,
within
sir.
the capsule, you don't know what's medicine is inside. It's
Yes, sir.
given to you as a cure of something, right? So you don't know what's inside. Similar is the true thing for any programming language. And if the consumer doesn't need to know what they are not requiring to know, then you just hide that detail from the
Oh,
consumer. What is return type?
sir, return type is mandatory for any method, sir. Like for example, it is like we are giving primitive data type inside a method, like
Mm-hmm.
public static int and method name with
Mm-hmm.
parameter or without parameter.
Mm-hmm.
Then when we are going for code, like inside the curly braces,
Mm-hmm.
after we have print the SOPLN statement or anything, then
Mm-hmm.
at the last, before closing the curly braces, we have to give the return type, and the return type should be same as int. For example, we have given int, sir, so we
Mm-hmm.
have to pass the value 10. And if we have given the return type as string, then we have to pass any value inside double quote as it is string.
Mm-hmm.
And if we have given double, we have to pass it like in decimal value, sir.
Mm-hmm.
This is a return type, sir.
So
So
basically,
basically it should be same, sir. It cannot be changed, sir.
so
And
whatever
if it
return
will,
type you are specifying,
yes, sir.
the method has to basically return that particular value. So that, so practically, like, yes, you explained all the things correctly, but why, like, practically, have you explored the options around implementing some methods and then returning the values and how you can use it?
Sir, actually, I have tried various all the primitive data types in
Mm-hmm.
methods, sir,
Mm-hmm.
and I have gone through. And whenever I try to change the value, sir, for example, I have given int, and in return type I am changing the value. It will
Mm-hmm.
throwing a compile time error. But sir, in method signature, sir, we can
Mm-hmm.
change the value. Like if we have given the int
Mm-hmm.
in method signature, in parameterize, we can pass the value as double string, no
Mm-hmm.
matter, sir.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to make sure whenever we are calling the method, we have to pass the same value inside what we have mentioned in the parameter, sir. Example, sir, if we have mentioned double value in the parameter while
Mm-hmm.
calling the method, like a method name can anything,
Mm-hmm.
like you have mentioned addition. So
Mm-hmm.
we are calling the method addition, but inside it we have to pass the value in decimal format as we have given the double.
Right. Yeah. Good. And when there is no return type, what did you mention about that?
So when we don't have a return type, we cannot print the what when we have don't a return type, like it is void, we
Mm-hmm.
don't need to give any return type. And sir, when we are calling the method, sir, it cannot be given inside a SOPLN statement because it will throw a compile time error. Basically void cannot be printed inside a system.out.println statement, sir.
Um, can you can you give a little bit more detail? Like void cannot be.
So void will not have any return type, like for
Yeah.
example,
So if there is no
like
return
what.
type, then you know, like you just say void
So
and
we
then the.
can give a return type. We can give return type. It will not throw any errors, sir.
Mm-hmm.
But as we are a programmer, sir, we have to see for the code, sir, and we
Mm-hmm.
have to go for code optimization. So less line of code. So it
Right.
is not good for us to give a return type as it is
Mm-hmm.
not mandatory, sir.
Okay. All right. So what do you understand by automation testing?
So whenever automation testing is nothing but when we perform any manual testing using automation tool is known as automation testing. We go for automation testing, sir, whenever we have to perform multiple tasks or multiple release is there or any repetitive tasks need to be performed, then we go for automation testing. And there are some process of automation testing, sir. Like
Mm-hmm.
in first release there is no concept of automation testing because all the features are new. But in the second release, as soon as we get the requirement, and after getting the requirements, sir, manual team will understand the requirement and we will start analyzing the impact area,
Mm-hmm.
and we will create a regression test suite and hand it over to the automation test engineer.
Mm-hmm.
From now on, automation test engineer will be busy on writing test script. Simultaneously, manual team and development team will be busy on working the new feature. As
Mm-hmm.
soon as the new features is stable, automation team will implement the script in new application. And after implementing, sir, as it is an application, there may be some pass status or fail status. The pass status is as it is, and the fail status need to be re-verified by the manual test engineer. And
Mm-hmm.
sir, manual test engineer will re-verify it, and after re-verifying, if there is any bug, he will send it to the developer. Developer will fix it and give it back it to the us, sir. And as a manual test engineer, we will retest the bug, and sir, along with it, we will also go with impact analysis, impact area, sir. But
Mm-hmm.
automation test engineer will rerun the script, and sir, it he will also run all the existing script because there may be some impact area, sir. This is the process of automation testing or regression testing, and this process will continue on until the application becomes stable or bug free, sir.
Okay. Okay. So you mentioned bug free. Are
Yes,
there
sir.
applications that are bug free? I mean, can you claim the
No, sir,
application is bug
absolute,
free?
sir, idle is not possible. 100% bug free is not possible, sir.
Right. Okay. Okay. So you explained in the automation testing question, you explained about the automation testing and then also some of the processes that usual team will follow when the defect arises.
Yes,
And you also mentioned that automation testing starts after first release.
yes, sir.
So is that always the case, or it can start even earlier than the first release?
Sir, actually, there are two concepts, sir. Build level regression testing and release level regression testing. In build level regression testing, we can start with the first release, but the build level regression testing will always start with second build, sir. Like first build is given by the developer, we will test it, and
Mhm.
for second, we will go for the build level regression testing. And sir, in build level regression testing, uh, after testing we may find some bug, and that bug may have some impact areas, sir. So
Mhm.
checking for that impact area is a duty for uh, test engineer because he is the one who has a good product knowledge. But in the release level, customer will also help us to identify the impact area based on the
Mhm.
product knowledge,
Mhm.
as well as developer will also help us based on the code knowledge. And so test engineer is the most important because he has the product knowledge. So sir, in release level we can have more impact area because all the three team are working simultaneously, and we will get more impact and like impact area covered. So, sir, here, sir, customer is also helping because initially in first release he don't have an application, but in
Mhm.
second release he has already used the application, so he has some idea, and as he has some idea and he has given for any updation, so he has used the application.
Mhm.
So by this he can help in the second release as well, sir.
Right. Yeah. So I think here there is no right and wrong answer when can automation testing start. But ideally,
Okay.
um, when we say automation testing, do not never confuse with just the UI or Selenium part of it. Automation testing is any script or any simple manual task that automate. It doesn't matter whether you are writing a shell script, you are writing a PowerShell, or you are writing batch script, or whatever it is. It's automation
Okay.
in the project. It can start as early as on second day or third day of development. It depends who is. So there is no right and wrong, but when we talk about the regression suite automation, that is more of like when things start getting stabilized. And ideally when it comes to UI automation, then UI needs to be really stable. Otherwise, when you write your, say for example, Selenium test, and next build, they have changed the button here and there, and they have actually changed some of the IDs or names of the locators, then your script, you will keep just fixing your scripts, and that's not good value, right? So
Okay, sir.
your, I mean, there is no right and wrong as such. When somebody asks, just I wanted to mention that uh, whatever you have mentioned, it very context dependent. Some projects
Okay,
might
sir.
start very early, some projects might start, late. And mostly in the industry, when we say, like, what thought it comes to your mind when we say automation testing? Like, do you do you think, I mean, what all tools and technologies do you think when we say automation testing in a project?
So we go for automation testing, sir, whenever we have a new test cases, or whenever there is any human involvement, like
Hmm.
a captcha, OTP, or whenever we have a complexity of a code or very complex application or repeated tasks need to be performed, then we go for automation, sir.
So
This
basically,
is,
like, what tools do you think
sir, there
in
are,
software testing you would be using to?
so there are various tools, but
Yeah.
mainly used are Selenium,
Hmm.
QTP, Runner,
Hmm.
and sir, I am familiar with the Selenium, sir,
Hmm.
and I am
Okay.
trying to learn Selenium, sir.
Right.
Okay, sir.
So here, that's what my suggestion to most of the candidates is, like, few things are highly overrated in industry. So like Selenium is one of that. It is so highly used. I mean, I don't criticize it as such, but it's a UI automation tool. Okay. And
Okay, sir.
just and many people, think that UI automation tool Selenium will fix all the problems in the project. It's not like that. So the automation can start from writing a simple Python, a simple Python script, or simple, like a simple Java code, or just within the Excel sheet, you can write a macro to do some, because when you are part of the testing industry, or testing team, there will be lots and lots of data, especially if you're in banking domain or any telecom and those sort of domains, that you need to manipulate to fetch the data that you need. And if you keep doing it manually, it's lots and lots of effort. So
Yes, sir.
anything that expedites your, any script or any macro, anything that expedites your work is the automation. Okay. And as you truly mentioned, like, it's you, when you use tool to reduce the manual effort, that's automation. And Selenium is not the only tool that you use in the
Yes, sir.
project. Okay.
So,
So
okay, sir.
just to clarify that. But overall, your answer is correct. I'm not saying that your
Okay.
answer is not correct. Okay. What is Selenium WebDriver basically? Like, just two lines.
Sir, Selenium WebDriver is nothing but it is a flavor of or component of the Selenium, sir. It is introduced in the year 2008. It is supports various operating system, various programming language, and various browsers, sir. It
Hmm.
is used because it is faster. It support parallel testing, sir,
Hmm.
and sir, with with it, as I have mentioned, it supports various programming languages, various platform can be used, sir. So these are the main advantages of Selenium WebDriver. Along with the uh, previously they have introduced the Selenium RC
Hmm.
and Selenium IDE. They too have good, sir, but they are Selenium RC is, sir, slow. The architecture is very complex, sir, and sir, Selenium ID doesn't support something, sir, like looping statement is not allowed in Selenium ID, sir.
Hmm.
So all that, sir, drawback are covered in Selenium WebDriver, and Selenium WebDriver is a, sir, overall it is a hit version, and Selenium got known to the people due to this, sir.
Right. Yes.
Selenium WebDrivers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
So yeah, I mean, there have been a lot of disadvantages in RC, and yes, now Selenium
Yes, sir.
4 is out. So go ahead and read about Selenium 4 architecture as well. I'll be posting a new video. There have been changes, and good changes in Selenium 4, in terms
Okay.
of architecture. So read a little bit about that as well. Um,
Sure, sir.
Always mention that Selenium is a UI automation tool, right? So it only automates browser. That's the first and foremost thing. You can automate other like desktop and things with some of the utils and or the libraries that you have to add. You have to rely on external libraries, but by default Selenium is a UI automation tool.
UI too.
Okay, what is the difference between find elements and find element in Selenium?
So find element is used to identify single web element using locator, whereas find elements used to identify group of web element using locator. So find element will have a return type, reference of web element interface,
Mm-hmm.
whereas find elements will have a return type list of web element. If find element will not in find element, if a find element is not identified, it will throw an error, no
Mm-hmm.
such element found exception. And
Mm-hmm.
in find elements, it will throw an error, it will not throw an error, it will throw an empty list.
Right. Yes. Great. And are you practicing like different combinations, find elements? Have you gone through my Selenium with Java training? Like that's available on YouTube. It's
So till now I haven't seen that video, sir, but afterward I will definitely
yeah,
go with
yeah.
it.
So there is a complete series with Selenium with Python, which has everything like uh, framework and Git and Jenkins. So
Yes, sir.
Jenkins will be coming very soon. And then Selenium with Java framework section will be coming very soon. So it's a complete course which will help you to, like build a lot of skills there. But yeah, good answer. Like you mentioned that elements will return a list, empty list if it's not able to find any of the web element. Great. Okay.